welcome to this FPL stream on Fantasy Football Hub. Tonight we're going to talk about everything you need to know for Gameweek 6 deadline tomorrow morning. I'm joined by the guru that is BigManBakar's. Hello Bakar, how are we doing this week?
Thanks for having me, John. As a Haaland captainer, I feel chuffed with how things are at the moment. Life has been good.
Just
85
rub it
points
in.
this
Just
week.
rub it in. Yeah.
85 points this week. I mean, let me have my moment in the sun.
Yeah, I went Salah. So, I mean, I did stream last night, so a lot of people might know what's happened with me. We'll get into that, but people are more here for you. So, what we're going to look at over time, Bakar, not right away, is how you got on. Then we're going to talk about all the big topics, and we're going to see what your plans are and see what my plans are. But another big thing to just discuss quickly before we get into it, for the first time in history, Bakar, this week, we hit 10 million FPL players. Big milestone. That's 8 figures. That's a
Absolutely.
lot.
Absolutely. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, a few years ago, around 4 to 5 years ago, we had almost half the number of people. So to see the industry grow at such a rapid pace is absolutely amazing. And there's so many people who I now look at. I mean, there's barely anyone I know, even in my own vicinity. People of my age, a lot of them who watch football play FPL. It's crazy to see how much the game has grown over the past few years. I absolutely love it.
Well, I'll tell you something that surprised me a lot, right? I've started doing short form content. This is a bit of a plug, but it's not purposely. I didn't plan this, right? I've started putting out a bit of content on TikTok. Now, a lot of it's kind of the so rare stuff, a lot of it's FPL, a lot of it's just general football. If anyone wants to follow me, by all means do. But what surprised me was I put out a FPL related TikTok last week and it got over 1 million views. And whatever about views, it's TikTok. Loads of views happen, right? But the engagement was insane. And I always thought TikTok was like a completely different demographic than maybe I'm used to in the likes of the YouTube scene. Because I feel like a lot of us and a lot of the content creators I speak to, we're kind of old in the tooth. You know what I mean? No one seems to be young, and TikTok is everyone thinks is for young people. And there was so much engagement and excitement around the game there from people
Yeah,
whose usernames had like '04 in them. You know what I mean? Like 18
yeah,
year olds. I was like, geez.
yeah,
So I don't know. Look, it's exciting. A lot more people are playing it, and that's sort of shown in the 10 million figure on the site now.
yeah. But I mean, I feel attacked. Are you calling me old?
You're probably younger than me. What age are you, Bakar? Let's play a game of. Actually, don't tell us. Let's play a game of guess Bakar's age and guess my age. Anyone who gets both of them right, you're getting a hub subscription for free. There we go. If you can guess Bakar's age and my age, you're getting a hub subscription for free. So, Bakar, loads to speak about. Loads to speak about. But first, we're going to have a look at your team, how you get on. I think you've already kind of. I don't know if you
80,
dropped the
80,
figure.
yeah,
85.
80, 85 for me this week. Haaland captain, obviously. He was the one who was the major contributor. Other than that, Martinelli, Cancelo. I mean, it was a good week overall. Andreas, especially that six-pointer, was huge. I mean, a huge shout out to him for getting me that assist. I needed it because I played him as my Reece replacement this week. James was on my bench, so I mean, those points were very welcome. And um, it was just a week where things went well. I didn't get any injuries, and I was grateful enough I'm grateful enough to be in a position where I can sort of attack the weeks to come with a wild card in hand, and possibly the next 3 or 4 weeks will dictate how I attack before the wild card.
The thing I like about your team is, I think I was messaging you whenever I got the Reece James news, and I was kind of knee jerky. I was knee jerky, and it wasn't. I was kind of sick of the double Chelsea. I would have preferred to get rid of Cucurella, but the unknown with James, a couple of weeks till the wild card, whatever else, I got carried away, and I brought in a Stupinian, who actually did okay, but he was first on my bench anyway. But you sat tight on James, played Andreas, and he got 6 points, so you were rewarded for that.
Yes, I mean it was just one of those things where I thought that James would be needed for the West Ham and Fulham fixture, because I just don't see anyone rivaling him in terms of his attacking output. It's crazy now, especially now that Fafana has signed. He's going to play as the right wing back. So I thought that really wanted to keep hold of him, especially because none of the replacements were obvious, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the City defenders were at risk of want to double up on the Brighton defense, especially because I did fancy Fulham to score. So It was basically a lack of replacements, which sort of dictated the decision as well.
So you used one transfer. How have you got two going into the next week or one?
I have two now. I have
You've
two
two
now.
now.
Yep.
Okay, well we're gonna get onto that at the end. See what your plans are, or as much as you're willing to give away. But this is how you get on last week. 85 points is a really top game week. To have a look at mine quickly for anyone who missed last night, I won't dwell. I got 75. I was lucky and unlucky. I was lucky that, well, I don't think I was lucky. I was unlucky. I brought in Rodrigo. I used my two free transfers for Rodrigo and Estupinian. Even though he was a bench player, the real reason that transfer had to be done was to free up cash to get Bailey up to Rodrigo. It wasn't a case of, oh, I need to get Estupinian in. It was a case of he was the best enabler I could have, but I didn't think he warranted playing. Outside that, happy I had the likes of Martinelli, Cancelo, Haaland, Jesus, but the big thing here was, and it's the same with every Salah captainer, we got away with one. We absolutely got away with one. It could have been so much worse. It should have been so much worse, but we got away with it. So 75 points. It's funny, like when I look at my mini leagues and people can see them on the right, they're pretty much, in fact, no, it was actually a lot of red arrows in the competitive leagues and a few green arrows in the not so competitive leagues, maybe with more friends. But I think overall it hasn't been a great week. Overall rank sitting around 800k. So, Bakar, we have a lot to talk about this week. First off, we need to close off the age thing. We're going to say entries closed. I wonder if anyone's got it right. I think I've only seen one entry that's got my age correct. A lot of them, I actually really need to start looking out for some skincare products. I think it's the bags under the eyes, maybe a little bit of obesity, but
Yeah.
I look older than I am. So one person got my age right. I'll reveal it in a second. What's your age, Bakar?
28.
Oh, the Ibrahim DK hit the post. I'm 29. You're 28. Ibrahim got 29, 27. There might be a few other ones out there, Bakar 28, but people got me wrong. A couple of people got your age right. No one got me right. He's had the chance at the free membership. Unlucky gang. Bakar 29, John 85. I'll take it. But Bakar, so we've a lot to talk about. Straight off the top, I spoke last night with Jane, who was on the show, talking as if it's, anyway, we're not on cable TV, but on the channel, and one of his sort of left field shouts was Morgan Gibbs White. Now, I want to know how you feel about that, and I also just want to know your answer. Now, there's obviously Martinelli. We assume most people have him. There's Pascal Gross, great. If you can go up to Luis Diaz, wonderful. But I think the thing that really interests Rodrigo owners is the ways you can downgrade, because I think the upgrades and sideways, financially sideways switches are all pretty obvious. Maybe I'm wrong.
Data to sort of talk him up as a pick, because again, he's just signed recently and he is playing in an attacking position, and obviously he will be nailed, and the fixtures are there. So if you're looking to punt, I don't mind Gibbs White as a pick, to be very honest with you. um, I would personally go with Trossard actually from Brighton, because when you look at the next three fixtures, most of us are likely to wildcard in game week 9. When you look at the next three fixtures, there's Leicester, there's Bournemouth, and then there's Crystal Palace. All these three teams are in the bottom half for XG conceded this season. So I'd expect Brighton to score one or two goals in at least in every each one of these fixtures. And I slightly prefer Trossard to Gross if you can afford Trossard, because of the fact that he's had almost double the number of penalty area touches and double the number of shots inside the box. So he's had 10 shots inside the box as compared to Gross's 5, and 30 penalty area touches as compared to Gross's 17. And this is despite the fact that the earlier games. So I personally feel he has more threat than Gross. I don't think Gross is a bad pick. I might get him at some point for my team myself, but and he will continue to tick along. But I just think that Trossard, if you can afford it, has more explosive potential.
If you already have Gross, is getting Trossard an option, or is the double up a bit much?
I tend to look at each option in isolation, but I mean, again, this is down to personal preference. I won't mind it, because I tend to look at picks in isolation, but I can understand why someone would be hesitant. For example, you asked the question, so I understand your reservations regarding this matter, because obviously doubling up on the Brighton attack isn't something you would ideally want to do. But I mean, I do think there's some merit to it.
I'm going to ask you a personal question about my team, because I was going to ask it at some stage and it's in my head now.
Sure.
So let's say I went Rodrigo to Trossard, okay? And it doesn't cost me any points. Wonderful.
Yep.
Or let's say I went Rodrigo to Aronson, Harrison, Morgan Gibbs White, whoever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A downward move in terms of value. Do you think it's better to do that and see if the 4-point hit, or take money out of the likes of a Robertson, who there's worry around? I could go Robertson out, bring in maybe Nico Williams, who I know you're a big fanboy of, very cheap. Robertson out, Nico Williams in, and then I could go Rodrigo up to Luis Diaz. It's a -4, but is that is that way better? Is that worth -4?
At this point, I'd also like to talk about Zaha, because a lot of people are considering him as the replacement. So before I come to the Diaz question, his stats are, I mean, from all the players we've talked about so far, his stats are actually head and shoulders above like the fixtures to come. Palace have Newcastle away this week. The next week they have United home, who've improved, and then they have Brighton away in game week 8. Now, none of these fixtures scream Hall to me, so I think you can afford to wait on Zaha till at least game week 9. Coming to Diaz and Robertson, I mean, Robertson, we have spoken about this in our earlier videos. The fact that he's getting regularly sub for Simicast, I mean, it was a red flag when it happened like a couple of times, because it wasn't happening last season. Now it's become a regular occurrence. Now it's happened like 4 times. So obviously it's very annoying as someone who owns Robertson. And the thing is that his attacking numbers have just absolutely fallen off a cliff as well. His XGI per 90 is more than halved. So I don't mind. It's sort of becoming apparent that Diaz is a better pick, and if you're using that money to get Neco Williams, who's exceptional value, I mean, we'll come to that later when we discuss my transfers. But Neco Williams, I think, is a very, very good pick, and as you've sort of given a spoiler away, I mean, he's top for shots inside the box, XGA, big chance involvements among defenders this season, and even against City, he created 3 chances, created 1 big chance. So I mean, his numbers are crazy. So at 4.1 million, I don't mind you going there, because Forest have good fixtures. In isolation, when you look at it, Neco and Diaz are better than Robertson and Trossard. So I would take the hit if I was in your shoes.
I'm just going to shout out you dirty slot, because it's something I was thinking. I like Bakar's cheeky smile when you called him a Nico fanboy. I liked it too. It made me happy. So yeah, we'll have a look at your team in a bit, but we've a few more topics before then. So we've kind of got through Rodrigo replacements. Robertson, keep or sell, I've discussed, and you've brought up Robertson there. We had another topic, which is, and it's based around fullbacks, a lot of these, and we'll get to captaincy a bit later too, but Cucurella, keep or sell?
I have him in my team. I'm keeping. It's yeah, you were about to say something.
I think it's one of those where, based on the Rodrigo injury and the lack of form in certain players and whatever else, I feel like every team is going to have a bigger problem than a Cucurella. But maybe people are blessed enough to have 2 free transfers and nothing to do.
I mean, I'll be smug, but I am in that position, right? But I'm still keeping. I am keeping the faith with him, because West Ham, they're ranked in the bottom 5 for XG this season, and another stat that I actually mentioned in my thread as well was that they're actually 19th for chances conceded down their right flank. So I mean, they are conceding plenty of chances on Cucurella's flank, and that sort of bodes well for him. I expect him to play as the wing back tomorrow, and I do think that Chelsea will keep a clean sheet personally. Even the bookmakers have them rated as so it's a very good fixture to own him. I won't sell. I mean, even with 2 free transfers, I'm not considering selling him.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not something I'm considering. But yeah, I think Chill. How many minutes did Chilwell get last week? Do you
Around
remember?
15 or 20.
Was that all? Yeah, I'd be keeping Kukurea a wee bit longer anyway, up towards wildcard time. I've seen a comment there, and it was something we were going to speak about anyway. Poolkit has said Perisic replacement question mark. He's got 5.8 million, and it was just about Perisic. Do we keep him? Do we sell him? And if you do sell him, who do you buy? Similar conversation. We're talking about fullbacks and fullbacks and fullbacks.
Yeah.
Is the answer just Nico Williams?
I've been a big Perisic fanboy as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think that he won't start this week. We might get a team leak tonight because there is a Spurs in the know by the name of Paul who reveals the team before the deadline generally. But personally, I don't think that Perisic will start because he's already. Now they have a Champions League fixture to follow after this fixture, and then they have City as well. So, I mean, if there's any fixture that Conte can afford to rest Perisic in, it's the Fulham game. And I think this is a perfect opportunity that he can give to Sessegnon as well because it's an easier game. I would sell. I would simply sell. I don't think it's too much of a debate to be had. The only way in which I would keep him is if we get confirmation in the early team leagues that he's starting, then obviously it makes more sense to keep him. But if we don't, then he's a sell for me. Replacements, I've already spoken about Neco Williams. I think Reece James, you've also spoken about him, is a very good buy, especially now that Fofana's and he's going to play as a right wing back. He's actually second for XGI among defenders this season, despite the fact that he's played as the right centre back in the first 2 or 3 matches this season. So, I mean, keeping that in perspective, these are the two guys who I think can go really big this week. And if I didn't own either of them, I'd be very, very concerned.
I've seen Kieran Trippier mentioned in the comments, but I think the problem there is... What is the problem there? I was about to go and look at fixtures, but they're actually not that bad.
Yeah, the problem... I mean, this is nitpicking, but I mean, the only problem I see over there is the injury to Bruno Guimaraes, and they have a fair few injuries in their team. Having said that, I mean, I do see Newcastle keeping a fair few clean sheets in the coming weeks. The only thing that I can say is that Newcastle have had one lesser day of rest as well as compared to Crystal Palace. So Crystal Palace will be fresher. And on the break, I'm not sure. Zaha against Trippier, that's not ideal. I mean, he could potentially get a booking there as well. That's one of the reasons why I'm not personally looking at him this week. But I mean, he is a good transfer, and if you want to buy, I can't really say that he's a bad pick. It's down to personal preference.
I was just distracted there, moderating the chat. I'm the moderator in the chat, nuisance. Yeah. So, sorry, I was a wee bit distracted there, Bakar, but I'm sure you were dropping alpha on everyone watching. A comment from Danish, which is one I want to ask you as well, is Ramsdale replacements. Have we heard anything more on Ramsdale? Can we just bench him for a week and see what Ward does and get us another point at best, or what's our play?
Arteta said that he will be assessed tomorrow, so that's of no use to us because the news will come after the deadline.
We all probably have Ward, so we probably have to just play Ward and hope.
Yep.
Well, play Ramsdale and basically have Ward.
Yeah, basically. But the thing with Ramsdale is I sold him last week and, he's yet to register a save point this season. It's been 5 weeks. I know the fixtures have been easy, but even in the easier fixtures, he was accumulating save points last season. So Arsenal have become much more solid. They're actually second only to Man City for XG considered this season. Their numbers are incredible. But that's not necessarily a good thing for the keeper because you want, hauls from keeper. And the only way he's going to haul is if he gets saves. If he isn't getting saves, then that makes him a bit of a poor pick at his price. I think if you have other fires to replace in your squad, then, of course, keeping Ramsdale makes sense. But if you have 2 free transfers and if you're in a position where you can afford to make a luxury transfer, then Ramsdale to Sanchez. I'd be very surprised if they don't keep clean sheets in the coming fixtures because, Leicester and Bournemouth in particular, those are the 2 teams who are in the bottom 3 for XG this season. So I'd back the Brighton defense to come good.
Okay, I like it. Sanchez is one that's what I look at, Bakar. In terms of wildcarding, right? I want to ask you about if it's too early to wildcard. And part of that, another thing I want to tie into that question is it viable to wildcard now if there's like 4 players you want to change, or is that not enough? Because I could rock it for another couple of weeks, but if Robertson, who I'm a bit I'm questioning, Ramsdale, who I've been questioning, outside that, I've got Rodrigo. So there's 3 that I definitely don't really want. And then, maybe one other in there. Or is it just like hold it for a week or 2? How many players would you need to change now to justify popping a wild card now? Otherwise, you should probably wait for a fixture swing.
We discuss this every week, John, and every week I say we need more information. I don't see enough value addition in wildcarding because the core, the template is very, very strong. This is the first time in 6 weeks where I see an opportunity to potentially wildcard, because there are plenty of fires that are developing in teams which people need to put out. For example, there's Ramsdale, there's Rodrigo, there's Robertson, Perisic. These are all very highly owned players now. So if anyone has 4 players or more who are injured or who are not really performing, then I can see some merit to it. You were very specific when you asked the question as to how many players you need to replace. Now, the way I see it, until the time we get to the World Cup, till game week 16-17, I think that the score of the team, 6 to 7 players, will remain the same. So there are only 4 or 5 differentials that you have to sort of cash in on, and those are the players who will make the real difference. If you believe that those 4 or 5 players at this point in time are either not performing or are injured, then I see merit to it. If it's 4 to 5 players, I don't mind a wild card.
A few comments coming in about Estupinian, guy who I brought in this week. What are your thoughts on him?
He's playing as the left wing back, and obviously he has some attacking threat as well. I'm not entirely sure whether he's nailed for security of starts. If I was picking a Brighton defender, I Dunk, because Webster actually has 6 shots in the box this season. Dunk has only 2, and Webster's XG is actually 5 times that of Dunk. So his numbers are actually much, much better, and he's 0.1 cheaper. So if I was going for a Brighton defender, I think I'd go with Webster.
A huge topic this week is obviously captaincy. We've had a few comments in about it. There is, I don't know, do you think there's one right answer here? Haaland's minutes, we don't know about it. Pep coming out playing games, mentioning the fact he's 22, not 32 minutes aren't that much of an issue. Salah has
playing
Everton.
Games. I like the way you say playing games.
Yeah, if only, exactly.
You think it's mind games?
Yeah.
You really think it's mind games?
I don't know what it is. He's playing games. He's having fun. I don't know. Is Pep targeting the FPL community? Is that what you're asking?
I'm very curious to. I mean, you claim that he's playing games. Are you sort of suggesting that he's lying and he's going to bench Haaland instead after coming out and saying that he doesn't need rest?
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised. I mean, he just said today that the guy is supremely fit and he doesn't need enough time to recover. So
Haaland captain, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I mean, that quote I was on Salah before this quote came out. But now that quote has come out, I mean, I simply can't look past Haaland, to be very honest with you. Because at this point in time, I personally think that Pep is looking at early substitutions as a way of managing him rather than giving him complete rests. And we're at that point where we need to sort of figure out whether 60 minutes of Haaland are better than 90 minutes of Salah. And I believe they are at this point in time. I would take 60 minutes of Haaland over 90 minutes of Salah this week. So if Haaland is to start and is to get subbed early, I just think he has enough potential. When you look at the XGI, he's smashing the tables, this underlying statistic, shots in the box, XGI, you name it, and he's top. And he's actually on a different planet to Salah when it comes to the numbers. So if he's playing and starting, then I just don't see a reason not to captain him, especially at a time when every single person will be now captaining Haaland after his hat trick and after
Which
Pep's
one?
comments. So I just think
Yeah.
it's too risky.
I think I've just crunched the numbers, okay, after you mentioned that, like the early substitution is a way to manage minutes. And if Haaland was to play 65 minutes, okay, let's just say 65, in over a 5-game period, that's 325 minutes, right? But what we all are kind of expecting to happen, maybe not everyone, but in my head, the way it would work is 90, 35, 90, 20, 90, 30 minutes, 90, 30 minutes, 90. Do you know what I mean? Like coming on from about the 60th minute or so in between games. So like 90, 30, 90, 30, 90 is actually 330 minutes. Whereas if he plays 70 minutes, 65 minutes every game, he would play 325 minutes. I've butchered that, but my point is this. He could play 65 minutes every single game, and he would actually play less minutes than if he kind of subbed on for one, started one, subbed on for one, started one.
Yes, and with the traditional FPL player, with the other players that we've seen over the past few years, it's different. I just think that Haaland is a freak because his numbers are on another different level. I mean, I deal with numbers for a living, and I haven't seen numbers like this for a long time. I mean, they're absolutely crazy. Everything that City are creating is going to him. He's on penalties as well. So it's that's why I just say his goal involvement is incredibly off the charts, right? So I mean, all these signs point to me captaining it. I mean, I think this is highly unlikely. If we get some early team news that Haaland isn't starting, then I will look at Salah tomorrow. But unless that happens, I'm firmly on Haaland.
I am just going to. That's nice. I just did something. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but it's nice. What I've done is actually really fun. I'll tell you what I've done, but then they know what I've done. I'm going to tell you what I've done.
Sure.
Then they know what I've done. Ugh. So you can put people in timeouts, right? Or you can just hide them.
Yeah.
And if you just hide them, they don't know they're hidden. And they can comment away and think they're seen, but they're essentially shouting into space and no one gives a shit. So anyway, yes, I think the thing with the captaincy is I was on Salah firmly, and I kind of seen the Pep things and thought Pep's playing games, but I don't know because like there's 2 weeks in a row where I've tried to be clever and not captain Haaland and I've got bitten. I just feel like it would be typical this week that I go for Haaland and all of a sudden he's benched. But as everyone says, he can do it in 30 minutes, he can do it in 20 minutes. So we'll see. Isaac, I've actually seen a couple of comments about him. Isaac looked brilliant. Probably a bit too soon. I think that's what you're going to say. I think that's what I would say. I don't think he's the best option at this stage. But Newcastle have looked brilliant so far this season. Gumares, as you say, a big issue.
Yeah. The fixtures are good as well. It's just that most of our teams, they don't really have that structure to go with the third forward at this point in time because even those of us that do, they have Tony, and I think Tony is a perfectly good pick, and I won't sell him at all. So in that case, how do you fit him in, right? And for most of us, with Jesus and Haaland locked in, it's very hard to fit him in. But yes, he's worth keeping an eye on, and I do think that there's potentially value to be had in the weeks to come.
FPL Diamond says, Bakar, you changed your opinion, huh? You challenged me for captaining Haaland over Kane last week. Oh, how wrong was I?
Did I?
Trash talk in the comments. Oof.
I don't even remember this happening. Apologies if it did. I've never rated Kane that highly as Haaland. So I mean, I don't know what he's talking about.
Kane's ticking away, but he's just very hard to justify, isn't he?
Exactly. He will score goals here and there, but he's just not on the same level as Haaland because Haaland, the shot volume is crazy.
So, Bakar, I'm going to show you your team. Look, people care more about your team. We'll do mine first, I suppose. We'll have a look at mine for next week. So based off, I'll have to play around with this a little bit, but there are transfers to be made. I've kind of held everything to last minute. If I wasn't to make a transfer, which isn't the case, I'd be rolling out this team here, Bakar. I don't think you can see it, but it's Ramsdale with Ward on the bench, Trent Cancelo, Robbo, Cucurella, Estupiñán against Leicester, and then I'd have Gross, Salah, who won't be my captain. Haaland will be my captain. You've convinced me. I was sitting on the fence. The comments earlier I thought were kind of more tongue-in-cheek, but if you believe they're real, that's good enough for me. Martinelli, Jesus, whatever else, okay? But I think what the transfers that are probably going to happen here are Rodrigo out, Luis Diaz in, Robertson out, Nico Williams in, -4.
I have your team in front of me, John. Okay, assuming you make these transfers, who will you bench this week?
Just leave me alone. Will you just leave me alone? Who will I bench this week, assuming I make those transfers? But like, okay, so then the alternative is that I just go Rodrigo to whoever. Pick any of the guys who are below him, the Aronsons, the Morgan Gibbs Whites, the whoever's.
No, I mean, you can just simply roll the transfer. You can simply roll the transfer. Just bench Rodrigo.
Oh, but that's... benching Rodrigo, his value's just going to keep falling. Or have I already missed that?
His value has fallen last night.
It fell, but do you don't think it will fall more? Or like...
Yeah, it will fall one more time. It depends on whether your selling value will be affected if he falls one more time. I'm not sure what price you bought him for. But if it doesn't, then, I mean, I think you can afford to keep him this week because you have a good team. Robertson and Stupinan are actually playable.
I don't know, Bakar. I don't know. I don't like it. Part of me's just like...
It's boring. I know it's boring. Yeah, for sure.
It's just, I have Rodrigo of a red flag there who's depreciating even further. And Nico Williams has a lovely, lovely fixture. Beautiful, the best fixture. But then who do you bench?
Stupinan, I guess you have to bench him or Cross, but it's really not ideal.
You're just playing with my head. That's what you're doing. But that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some sort of variation of that. Rolling it? I don't think I can bring myself to do that, Bakar. Are you telling me if you were me, you'd roll it? This is why you're an expert and I'm not, because I don't think I have it in me.
I would consider it because you're taking a hit and benching a player who could potentially get points, right? I mean, right. I know you're saving 0.1, but you're ending up losing 4 points and benching someone who's likely to get points on the bench. So that's my counter argument, which is, I mean, right. If you have, but for a hit, to bench one of those guys, to bench a Brighton defender, to bench Cross, it's questionable.
I'd be paying 4 points to play Nico Williams instead of Robertson and Luis Diaz instead of Stupinan. So, or whatever. So, or you put that the other way. Will Luis Diaz outscore Robertson? Probably, but not guaranteed because the clean sheet's more likely, you'd like to think, against Everton.
Yeah.
And will Nico Williams outscore Stupinan against Bournemouth? I think he could haul. So
I do as well, but I do think there's a very good possibility that both of them end up keeping clean sheets.
Oh.
But yes, I mean, Neko has the haul potential.
I don't know. I might sleep on this. This is breaking. Why do you, Bakar? You know, I had everything sorted, and then you come in with all your reasoning, and you just throw everything in the air.
Yeah. Thank me for your sleepless night.
And do you know what's happened? Like the last 2 weeks, you speak reason to me on the stream, and then I go away and I do something rogue, and I message you saying I did this, and you just shake your head.
The worst part is you WhatsApp me after you do something rogue. When I have no
control
over it.
But there has to be an expert. You know, you couldn't, we can't all be experts. I need to leave that for you. So, look, that's my team. God knows where that goes. This is your team on the screen. Are you making any changes? I know what you're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, I have 2 free transfers. I've sort of given it away.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. If you get news that Perisic is benched, then he's going for Neco Williams. That's going to be my only move this week. Haaland will be my captain. Until we get any news that he's in playing tomorrow.
We're going to play the game again, Bakar. There's almost 1,000 people watching us. How many people do you think have liked the video? And what would be insulting? What would you be like, oh, really? They hate us?
Yeah, I mean, anything under 100 likes for, I mean, yeah,
108.
yeah. Please like this stream, guys. I mean, come on.
I mean,
It's a short turnaround. We've put in a lot of effort.
look
Kindly,
at this.
kindly show some love.
Show the man some love. Show the men some love. Look at that face. You can't not like the stream. Look at Bakar. He's out here giving it his all, answering all our questions. Drop a wee like for us, please. Yes. So Bakar, you're kind of depending on what happens with Perisic to Nico Williams is very much a possibility. Other than that, staying patient, ready to strike, and just seeing what happens.
Exactly, exactly. And what I like about Neko is also the fact that it gives me flexibility next week. So, for example, if I want to jump from someone like Reed to Gross, I can do that next week. Um, and I have to sort of start building towards game week 8 because game week 8 could potentially be a problem with James, Kukurea, Diaz, Salah, Trent. All those 5 players are playing against each other. So I want to keep 2 free transfers to tackle that in game week 8.
I like it. Bakar, is there anything we needed to cover, or do we want to answer any questions, or what are you thinking?
I think I've answered everything pertinent to my team. If people have any questions in the chat, we can have like a 5-minute quick fire
Yeah.
round.
Let's do a 5-minute quick fire. I'm gonna put a timer on.
Sure.
All right. We'll give them 20 seconds to take the questions in. Make them A or B or yes or no. So such and such or yes or no. We're gonna do this for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna have 1 minute of wildcard questions, or you can ask us anything. Anything, Bakar.
Yeah.
There we go. So I'm gonna hit 5 minutes, and the aim here is Bakar. I'm gonna actually keep a tally. Let's see how many questions Bakar's brain can answer in 5 minutes. I'm going to treat this like The Chase, which is a UK game show. I don't know if you've seen it, Bakar, where basically a guy, what's his name, Bradley Walsh or something? Maybe I got that completely wrong. Barks questions at the contestants, and they have to answer them as quick as they can. So I'm going to keep
Chat
this
is going
moving.
crazy. The chat is going crazy.
You have 5 minutes to get them in, so get them in now. All right. 5-minute timer starts now. Henderson or Sanchez?
Sanchez.
Kane or Salah captain?
Salah.
Gundogan, start him or not?
Start him.
Dunk or Trippier?
Dunk.
Nico or Martinelli?
Neko.
Trossard or Diaz?
Diaz.
Robertson out for Nico?
Only if you're using it as a funding move.
Perisic or Kukurea?
Kukurea.
Silva or Gundogan captain?
Gundogan, probably.
Mitrovic, Isaac, Tony. Pick one.
Tony.
Andreas or Reece James?
Reece James. By a mile.
Harrison or Gibbs White?
Gibbs White.
Perisic to James -4.
Yes.
Rodrigo to Gross?
Yes.
Foden or Gundogan?
Foden.
Odegaard or Nico Williams?
Nico Williams.
Martinelli or Zaha?
Martinelli.
Zaha or Bernardo?
Zaha.
Rodrigo to Gross? I've asked that, disregard. Mendy or Sanchez?
Sanchez.
Trippier for Perisic?
Sure.
Saka, hit Kane to Haaland?
Yes.
Pope or Sanchez?
Either is fine.
Saliba or James?
James.
Anthony or Gundogan? I don't know if that's Anthony. It's Anthony for Gundo.
Man United mid. Yeah. I'm not sure whether he's going to start, so
No,
I
please
can't really
no.
answer that.
Rodrigo to Rashford?
Not bad. Differential.
Eze or Aronson?
Aronson.
Jesus or Gross?
Jesus.
Tony or Isaac?
Tony.
Rodri to Harrison?
Not bad.
So it's a yes, isn't it? Nico or Walker?
Neko this week.
Okay. Do Cucurella or Trippier?
Kukurea.
Rodrigo to Zaha? Do you love the chat?
Of course.
Do you love me?
Even more.
Oh, Salah, De Bruyne, and Haaland. Is the threemium of Salah, De Bruyne, and Haaland an option?
We aren't captaining or Salah
So we don't need De Bruyne. Your connection was a bit bad there. So that's a no.
Yeah.
Gross or Diaz?
Diaz.
Collins or Martinelli bench?
Collins.
Harrison or Gibbs White? Might have asked that already, but go for it.
Gibbs White.
Nunez or Kane on a wild card?
Nunez.
Oh baby. Firmino?
Firmino, I'm not sure whether he's going to start this week because he's played a lot of minutes recently, and I think he's going to be for the Champions League.
St. Maximin or Isaac?
St. Maximin is injured.
Well, there we go. I thought he must have been back based on the question. Nico or Gabriel?
Nico.
Gabriel or Trippier?
This week, Trippier. Overall, Gabriel.
Cucurella to Gomez?
No. Won't do it.
Estupinian or Gross -4?
Probably Stupinian.
Robertson to Trippier?
I won't do it.
Can you read the future?
No.
Will Perisic play?
I doubt it.
Okay, 10 seconds left. Hit Tony or no hit for Zaha?
No hit.
Almiron or Saka?
Saka.
Time up. But don't worry. You have one more. You have 1 minute. We'll give him 2 minutes bonus where you can put in any questions. Wild card. Your time starts now. You have 2 minutes. So that better be 45 more likes. I've never seen the comments go like this, which is brilliant. Can't wait to see the final count. So
like the video, guys.
FPL and subscribe to the channel. FPL related questions are over. We will not answer them. You have 1 minute 30 seconds left for random questions. I don't even know if anyone will have any, but they did last week. We had some fun with them too. Are you married, Bakar?
No.
Tool or Slipknot?
Slipknot.
Slipknot? Do you listen to either of them?
Yes. Yep.
What rank do you think I'll finish with?
If you keep listening to me, I'm sure you're going to finish with a good rank.
Oh, maybe. Pizza or lasagna?
Lasagna. I love lasagna. Wow.
Yeah, I think I agree there. I do love a pizza. What's your favourite dish of all the dishes?
Nothing in particular. I mean, I like all kinds of cuisine, to be very honest with you. Chinese,
Death meal.
actually.
Chinese?
More than anything. Yeah.
What do you get from the Chinese?
Everything is fine. I mean, anything
Bakar's not
Chinese
fussy.
and Thai, actually, to be very honest.
Okay, so now
Yeah.
see, like
Thai
you're
as
there
well.
on death row. What do you want for your final meal? Bakar will take whatever, as long as it's Asian. Basketball or golf?
Basketball.
Barca or Real?
Barca.
Pasta or pizza?
Pasta.
Are you a programmer?
Sorry?
Are you a programmer? Do you like coding? You broke up there. I think they're suggesting we're nerds, Bakar.
I suggested no.
What's your best FPL finish? Go on, hit them with the boom, boom, bam.
I finished fourth in 2015.
Fourth. That's how good he is. Okay. Rangers or Celtic?
Celtic.
Good man yourself. And are you the GOAT of FPL? I love asking you these.
Pass. I
Who's
think they're
winning?
taking the piss now.
Who's winning Formula One on Sunday?
I don't follow Formula too much.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Cricket or football? I think you'll need to give me your answer again because it was a delay. Cricket or football?
I watch cricket quite a lot, but football over cricket any day.
I love it. Bakar, it's been a pleasure. Best of luck this weekend. Let's hope I can do what you say. And everyone here, if you want to catch Bakar on the channel every week, subscribe to the channel, like on your way out. Best of luck this weekend. Good luck with the captaincy. Good luck with the transfers. Good luck with everything. We'll be back next week to chat about it all. So see you later, and you can find us on social media at our little handles below. All right.
Thank
See you
for
later.
having me. Bye, guys.
See ya.